Do, 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 do. Did you hit the both buttons?
I did hit the both buttons.
Good job. Do you want me to get us the comments from the YouTubes?
Yeah, I moved the screens wrong.
Yes, but that's okay.
I got this. You got this. Teamwork.
Yes, together we make a whole. There we go.
First things first. Welcome to my sewing room on a beautiful Thursday afternoon in April.
Or, as we're going to affectionately call, Friday Junior.
Friday Junior. I love it. I'm excited for Friday Senior.
Yes, tomorrow is Friday Senior. That's actual Friday.
Yes.
And then Saturday will be Friday round 2.
Okay. Or it could just be Saturday.
I suppose.
We're also not calling it April anymore. It's Serger month.
Yes, so now the month of April is now named Serger.
Serger month.
Just Serger.
Just Serger.
Yes.
So it goes January, February,
Serger.
March. Serger. May, June.
I just threw in Serger wherever I wanted.
So welcome to my sewing room. I'm Leah. This is Chelsea.
Hi.
Chelsea? Chelsea. I call her Chelsea a lot.
It's a lot easier when she's yelling at me.
I don't often
Just
yell
kidding.
at you. Sometimes I egerly try and get your attention, though.
Yes, that is the right term.
Yes.
Eagerly getting my attention.
Yes. So what we're going to do over today and a few days next week is walk you guys through sergers, kind of in a nutshell. There's a very wide array of serger options here at my sewing room, and we've got some new and used options.
We sure do.
And if you've been kind of thinking about a serger, it is the month to do it.
Yes.
There's sergers on sale from Bernina, Bernette, and Brother.
There are. It's fantastic.
There's so many cool options, so we'll find the right one for you for whatever price point you want.
Yep.
And whatever needs you have.
And we may be working on a floor model today that's also for sale.
Totally.
So, never left our store, but we've been using it.
Now and then.
Little bit.
Little bit.
Little bit. Mostly what you see here, what
We're still like 8
today.
inches at a time now and then. Our floor models are pretty gently used. So
very gently. Yeah.
So what we're going to run through today is basic serger stitches. There's a whole ton of really cool things sergers can do that maybe you're not aware of. But they all start from 3 basic stitches. And there's variations on those with the number of threads being used and those things. But those are all the details of what those stitches are, and the bigger expansion will come when you take a new owner's class with us after purchasing your serger. So, but first things first, what are the 3 major serger stitches?
Overlock, 4 thread.
4 thread overlock. Basic, that is the most common thing that people come in looking for. If you flip up any of the inside of any of your clothes, you probably have 4 thread overlock in your shirts, in your pants, potentially in your underwear.
Maybe in a toque.
Maybe in a toque. Like, it's everywhere. So if you just want to finish seams and keep things from fraying while you wear them, 4 thread overlock is fantastic.
Edge of a polar fleece blanket.
Edge of a polar fleece blanket. If you like to pre-wash your fabric, but you've got something that shreds a whole bunch.
4 thread overlock.
Fabulous.
So keep your washer and dryer less full of thread.
Well, then you don't have to like snip all the threads apart when they tie themselves into a ball.
Yeah, that's no fun.
No. If you want to make rags.
Yes. Then you can skip the cutting step.
Yeah, like super duper
do some
functional.
drawn lines.
Yeah, so super duper functional. Super straightforward and easy. So every serger can do a 4 thread overlock that we have here in the store.
Yes.
So we're going to start with that one. But I think what I'm going to have Chelsea do, she very ambitiously already threaded the machine so we can make sure it worked.
You going to get me to unthread it?
I am.
Okay.
So we're just going to switch over to...
Where would you like this positioned?
Right about there, probably.
Right there? Right in my
no,
trim tray?
No. What happened? It was in a good spot before. Why'd you move it?
Is that better? You like that spot?
That'll be okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So the machine we're using today is the Bernina L850. This is the first of the air thread machines in Bernina's lineup. Each of the brands we carry, brother Bernina and Bernette, each have air thread options. So you have options. But the thing I like about air threading machines is the hard part about threading sergers is definitely threading the loopers. So those are the 2 threads that go back and forth across the edge of your fabric. But the air threading is super duper fantastically easy because there's tubes that the thread will shoot through and come out the eye of the looper. So you might not see that right on camera because the thread is thin, the shot's wide, but Chelsea's closed the tubes. And then on this particular machine, you press the foot pedal to make the air go. So Chelsea's going to thread both loopers in the time it takes me to talk about what air threading even is. So if you're in the camp of I can't see to thread my serger anymore, let me introduce you to air threading.
It's pretty fabulous.
So both loopers are now threaded from completely unthreaded about a minute ago.
If you've never seen air threading before, and you have a regular
cat's pajamas.
serger, you'll know how wonderful that just felt.
Yeah, it was fabulous. The L850 also has a needle threader.
Can we adjust my camera?
Yeah.
Because the needle threader is great.
Yeah, this will be much easier to see for when we actually stitch as well. Because we're just going to thread it all the way once, and then we'll do some edits as we go. Not some edits.
I think that might be a good spot.
You need to go higher.
Very good.
I need to be able to see the stream deck if I'm going to change
All
cameras.
right, what's that like now?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll
That's
move
much
some
better.
stuff over.
And you can see my little yellow dot. So that'll
Yeah.
come important in a moment. So I'm doing my right needle first. So to do my right needle is actually the green dot. So that was the hardest part of using this threader.
Right?
Oops. If I can get myself hooked today.
Hardest part.
Obviously, I lied.
Hardest part is making your
Okay.
fingers work.
I think you know what actually it is.
The
is
door's
I
in the way.
closed the door,
Too soon.
and earlier I did it without the door. Yeah, that's much easier.
And now you're wrapped behind the needles.
Yes, very good. It's the camera, Leah.
Yeah, it's great news. It's about 1 million times harder to thread a serger when you have an audience and you're on camera.
It's done.
Oh, it's done.
But yes, it's like exponentially harder when you have an audience. Leah wasn't watching me earlier.
No, I wasn't. And neither were our friends online.
Yeah, I didn't have a camera in my lap earlier. And of course, I'm doing all my threading with the foot up.
Yes. So the tension just are open.
You know what I think the difference is too? I raised my chair.
You're like, I need to be higher.
I need to be higher. No, everything's harder now. Okay.
There is good
This is
ergonomics
very
when you're
good.
sewing. You do have to be at the right height.
Yes. Ergonomics when sewing are important. Did I switch that? No, I didn't. Okay. Switch that to yellow. All right, now we'll get this in here and we'll get behind the needle. Yep, definitely making this look harder than it is, I swear. How'd I get that stuck, Leah? All right. There
You
we go.
unthreaded the needle.
I know. So much harder. You know, I did this really well earlier. You wouldn't
Now
believe
you're under
it.
the foot. No, you're good.
We make boo-boos too. Right,
And once
Leah?
you get the hang of this, it'll be no time at all. But we have also switched thread around. We're not using serger thread at the moment. We are using much prettier embroidery thread.
Yes, it's a little slippery. And now I'm
Yeah.
going to check and make sure that my tubes are open because
The
as I
doors won't
learned,
close.
yeah, as I learned about 5 minutes ago, if I don't do that, my door won't close.
Yep.
I'm gonna lower my foot.
Yep.
And step 1 of 4 thread is I'm going to make a chain. Do you like to hand wind to start?
You know what? Most sergers I like to do 2 or 3
Hand winds?
hand winds, because if you have something threaded incorrectly,
You can
you'll
hear it.
feel
You
it.
can feel it too, yeah.
Because the machine will get really, really stiff and awkward at a point.
That looks beautiful.
So a couple hand winds, and then anytime you start with serging, you want to start with a chain. And that 2 or 3 inches is enough to know that it's working. And you definitely need to do that with the foot down. Otherwise, you have
Foot's down.
wild tension issues.
When you said you definitely have to do that with the put down, I was like, did I put mine down?
You did. You did. So for the most part, everything we do today, nope, just this one, we're going to do on 2 layers of fabric. Because often you can use this 4-thread overlock as a construction and finish the edges all in one go. So you'll be sewing layers of fabric together.
All right, I like to pedal to the middle. You know the trick if you lose your scissors?
Yeah, just take your thread around to the front. So that is your basic 4-thread overlock. Quick and painless. This is all set up with default settings right now. Figuring out your tensions and everything is something we cover in your new orders class when you buy a serger from us. But threading the front and back loopers differently will help you figure out where each of those threads lands in the stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And we've just followed the color coding on the machine to make it nice and easy.
Yes, and when you're playing with new materials and stuff, personally, I like to follow the color coding on my machine. So then if I'm having a weird tension issue on certain threads, I can actually just visibly see the color and then just switch that down.
Yeah.
I find it way easier than trying to remember loopers.
Yeah.
And needles and which one's which.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our first basic serger stitch. The variation on this one is you could go to a 3-thread and you would drop either the right or the left needle. We're going to drop the left needle. We don't really need to stitch this one out because I actually want to move on to the next couple stitches because it's going to take us a minute or 2.
Oh, I don't need that open. Oh, my left.
No. But actually we could just remove that needle and continue on and do the 3-thread narrow.
Good, because I already started the removal process.
Perfect. And then we'll switch into the 2 other stitches that are like foundational serger stitches.
And it's always good to remember to retighten your screw. Don't want that falling out while you're
Nope.
stitching. And you don't want to over tighten them.
Yep.
That's what I learned from Service Bay.
Yeah. So most of the stitches that you go down to 3-thread from a 4-thread can be done with either the left or the right needle. So in this case, we've dropped the left needle, so we'll just do a narrow 3-thread overlock.
It's feeling good. Making a chain, making a chain. Oh, look. Look at a beautiful chain.
Perfect.
I like clipping those off so it's just a little bit tidier.
Oh, I just leave them like dangling off the back.
Of course you do.
Yep.
Don't mind me, I'm just cleaning.
It's okay. So if you want to just run down the other side of that.
Oh, the other side.
But
Let's
if you
clean this
flip it
up.
up so the blue thread is still on the top because that's our upper looper, then we can see the difference between the 2. So one thing you could do with a 3-thread overlock is if you've already sewn your seam but you've pressed your seams open in something like a dress with pockets, then you could serge just with that 3-thread because you don't need the safety stitch of that extra thread. Or if you had a lighter weight fabric and you didn't want it to be so heavy with thread on the outside.
That's fabulous.
Right?
It looks so good.
Love it.
I like them. All right,
Okay,
next.
next foundational stitch. next foundational stitch. We're going to stick with this 3-thread setup
Okay.
with the right needle. We're going to do a 3-thread flatlock narrow.
Ooh, tricky. I haven't done this one. Let's go for it.
So a flatlock is a tension game.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm going to get you to reposition the camera for just a moment so you can actually see the tensions, and then we'll show that and then actually stitch it.
Is that appropriate? Oop, nope. Too low. Hopefully it's not too high. Ah, luck.
Yep, that'll be okay.
Nailed it.
So we've taken out the left needle. Your right needle we're going to set at 2. Your upper looper, which is the blue one, at 4. And your lower looper at 6.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
I love flatlocks. They're my absolute favorite Serger stitch.
I'm excited. This
So
is gonna be
we're going to do one more camera reposition, and we're going to get really close in here if we can, because otherwise the people won't see where we're lining up. You need to be a little higher, I think. That should be good. Yep.
that close.
Yep.
Okay.
So flatlocks are something that you could do to join 2 pieces of fabric, or you could do on a fold. So we're going to have you do this on a fold. You fold, if this was good fabric, you could fold right sides together.
Are you saying this isn't good fabric?
It's beautiful fabric for testing. But there's no right and there's not really right and wrong
Some
side. It's
lovely
just
muslin.
So because we've already got a serger chain built, all we've done is change tension. And with flatlock, what we're going to do is aim to have the fabric just to the right of the needle.
Okay.
There's a sweet spot on every machine. It's definitely something.
That's my needle. And that's where my thread cutter is. You can see the little grooves on my foot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go right between the 2.
Yep.
Ish.
Ish.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
The trick is to not cut your fabric.
You could drop the knife if you wanted.
I want to play this game.
Knife,
Sounds fun.
chicken.
Yes.
Sounds dangerous.
It's like bobbin chicken,
but different.
different.
Yeah.
And nobody can get boo-boos in the process.
Yeah. So
Okay.
tension on flatlock stitches when they first come off the machine looks really weird because you've usually got big loops on the backside.
Looks like chaos, Leah.
Looks like chaos. But the trick to a flatlock is you're going to open it and give it a good little tug and it'll pull it open.
Decorative stitching.
Yeah.
On your serger. That's fabulous.
So if your flatlock's not laying quite flat,
It's definitely because I took too big of a bite out of my fabric.
yeah, so then you just need to shimmy that fold closer to the needle. But the
Backside.
either side could be the right side of a flatlock.
Boop.
So that's the back side with the looper threads.
Kind of looks cooler on the backside. But maybe it's just because it's teal.
And you like teal. Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, you like teal.
Yeah. So that's backside.
But the front side looks like a ladder.
It does look like a ladder.
It's absolutely my favorite serger stitch in the whole wide world. This could be used in all sorts of decorative applications. I've told students in some of my new owners classes that my brother spent a stupid amount of money on a t-shirt when he was, 19, making money, no commitments in his life. Probably spent like $70 or $80 on a white t-shirt. It had a flatlock hem.
And that's what he liked?
Yeah, he liked the hem.
And now you're like, I could do that in 5 minutes.
I could do that in 5 minutes for you, dude.
Yes, he asked for a new one of those shirts.
No.
Or you could just take one of his existing shirts and flatlock the hem off.
He's kind of told he has a hard time having the shirts stay reaching his pants.
Okay, what you could do is add an
Add a ruffle.
accent strip at the bottom.
I got threatened with ruffles growing up on the bottom of all my clothes.
Oh,
I could add a ruffle to the bottom of the shirts.
I'm sure he might like it.
Yeah.
You did it. He'll probably love it.
Nobody actually did it for me. I was not a ruffly kid.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, next stitch in the foundational stitch lineup is a rolled hem. So we're going to do
Ooh!
a 3-thread narrow rolled hem. And the magic of a rolled hem on lots of the current machines is that you don't actually have to switch stitch plates and switch feet and all those crazy things that you might have had to do on one of the original domestic sergers. This one, you pull the rolled hem lever towards you into the R position. It pulls that stitch finger out of the way, so the stitches will collapse around the pin in the foot. We do have to make some minor adjustments to tension once more, but I'll just walk you through these. These are, you're going to take your right needle to 4, and each machine is different for this. Upper looper 4, right or lower looper 5.5. And then we're also going to change your stitch length to R. Is that an option on that knob? That's what the book says.
It is. I just had to figure out which knob. I was staring at stitch length and differential feed.
Yeah.
And going, I guess I could turn them both and see which one has an R.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready?
Sure, go for it.
Okay.
So we've shortened the stitch length a whole bunch, and this is going to trim as it goes and make a nice tiny little roll hem.
Oh, it's cute.
Pause for a second.
Yes.
Increase that lower loop retention to 7. It's not as tight as I would like it. And your upper looper could go down to 3. I would like the look of that better.
Okay, so this was the original settings up here. I might be too close. There you go. So original settings. And then this was when Leah decided that wasn't good enough for her, and she switched it.
So loosen the upper looper a little bit more and tighten the lower looper a little bit more. So you see more of the blue and less of the red.
So on the back, that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Looks beautiful.
Right?
I like the blue one more.
Me too. That's why I switched it. When I saw what it was doing, I was like, oh, that's close, but not quite what I want.
Okay, next.
That's it. Those are the
That
three
was
foundational
it. I was
stitches.
having so much fun, though.
But did you see how easy it was to switch between those 3 on this machine?
It was incredibly easy.
I
I thought
know.
there was more.
Sorry.
Oh.
That is the 3 foundational stitches. Some of the variations on the Flatlock and rolled hems is you could go down to a 2-thread if your machine is 2-thread capable.
This one is.
Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Do you want to do a 2-thread rolled hem, Chelsea?
Yes.
Okay, well, you threw your rolled hem sample.
No. Oh, yeah, I guess I need that.
So, you're going to do a 2-thread
right.
rolled hem. We're going to pop open the doors on your cover for a moment, and we're going to unthread your upper looper.
You know what I did, though? I was cutting like a smarty pants, and I have my tail in here, so it'll be hard to get that thread out. All right, which one am I getting?
Your upper looper, so your blue one.
Blue. Boop. Boop.
Yep. And then with that lower looper thread, normally on most standard sergers, you would need to completely rethread at this stage to make sure nothing is wrapped around anything the wrong way.
That would be so sad.
But we're using an air thread machine, so the only thing I need you to do is make sure the red thread is not on top of the upper looper. And then you're going to flip in the upper looper converter. On some machines, this is a standalone piece that gets installed, and it's going to replace the upper looper in the stitch and pull the lower looper thread up and over. Other than that, it's still a rolled hem.
Why I wanted to do it so bad is because of how easy it is.
There.
All right, I'm going to do a little bit of hand winding action here.
Yep.
If I go over the camera, it'll be a little easier.
Just hug the camera.
Don't mind me, camera. I'm sorry if I'm in your personal space. But you're a camera.
So 2-thread rolled hem is going to be a much more delicate hem. So if you're working with very, very lightweight fabrics and you didn't want to make them heavy with a 3-thread rolled hem.
It should be really nice on like a flutter fleece sleeve.
Never heard of flutter fleece. I'm intrigued.
I don't know where that came from. But a flutter sleeve.
Yes. If you want to just pause for a moment, I believe our stitch length could be shorter.
Okay.
So
What
I
would
think
you like
R
it to
is kind of like 1, and it probably goes down to 0.8.
R is about 1.25.
Let's go shorter.
1 or 0.8?
0.8.
Okay, we'll decrease all the way to the bottom. Oh, that looks nice. On my flutter fleece.
Flutter sleeve.
You know what would look really beautiful in this too? Is if we used
Woolly poly.
woolly poly. That would have filled in all my little gaps.
Yeah.
So, oops. This was the original settings.
Yeah.
And after changing stitch lengths, we got this. So if we switch to woolly poly thread, then these gaps would almost be not noticeable.
Yeah.
Which would be lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrinkling? Because maybe we could have swapped the differential feed as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, each fabric's going to behave a little bit differently at that really, really short stitch length. And if we're still seeing a lot of that needle thread in the back side of this stitch, you could maybe tighten up the lower looper thread a little bit, or yeah, I'd probably tighten up the lower looper thread.
Shall we try that just for fun?
Sure.
Okay. Shall I also adjust my differential feed?
Yeah, if you went...
I'm at 1.
Go to like 1.25.
Okay.
1 and a bit. It doesn't
And then
need much.
my needle thread? That's what I'm adjusting also? Tightening?
Tighten your needle thread.
So I'm at a 4,
Go to
and
5.
we're going to go to a 5. All right. Let's see what happens. I'm ready to see magic. Actually, those gaps are almost gone.
Yep, I'd be pretty happy with that. And probably I'd be matching my threads when I do this narrow roll.
Unless you want them to be different.
It's true.
I made you a present, Leah.
A curly little present.
It's a curly present.
I like it.
It's much flatter.
Sweet.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
A lot less needle thread. It looks good.
Sweet.
Delicate.
Yes. So there's your foundational stitches.
We're having a good time talking
We are.
today, my friends.
I know. Let us know which of those is your favorite, based on what you saw here. Maybe you've used a serger and you have a favorite already.
And maybe flutter fleece is your favorite. So
I don't think fleece has the drape for a flutter sleeve. This is bothering me. What
I'm
I know
just
about fabric.
imagining it on very warm pajamas.
You want full-length sleeves from making fleece pajamas.
They're fluttery at the ends.
I feel like that's just going to get stuck when you're rolling over in bed.
It might.
Chelsea's producing a new winter fashion line.
Yes. Flutter fleece.
So, like we said, it's Serger month. So
It is.
if this has been kind of on your wish list, come and talk to the sales team. We'll find you the right machine for your budget and needs. And maybe it's new, maybe it's used.
Maybe.
But let me tell you, it's on sale.
Yeah, I think every single machine in the store right now is on sale.
Definitely all the Sergers.
Definitely all the Sergers.
Yeah. So we'll be doing a few more Serger videos over the next week to give you some more ideas of why you might want a Serger.
So stay tuned
Yes.
for all the fun that we are going to have. I like running the machine.
Perfect. Chelsea's going to do all the machine operation, and I'll just talk her through it.
Otherwise, we wind up with flutter fleece.
Yep. Thanks.